Live from the studios of WTXL, this is an ABC 27 sports special, Showdown in Charlotte. Here's sports director Brad Dalton and Dave Griffiths.
Hello and welcome to the Showdown in Charlotte. I'm ABC 27 sports director Brad Dalton, and for the next half hour, we're going to be bringing you a full preview of tonight's ACC football championship game between our Florida State Seminoles and the Duke Blue Devils. We'll go over some of the keys to the game, and our very own Dave Griffiths is going to join us shortly from Charlotte with a report from Bank of America Stadium. Well, the Florida State Seminoles, they're the champions of the ACC Atlantic Division, looking to repeat as overall conference champs. Florida State has been nothing short of dominating this season, a perfect 12-0 record, and the Noles haven't even really been tested in any of their games. Now, with the best offense and defense in the ACC, Florida State has won games this year by an average of over 43 points. Last week, the Seminoles moved up to the #1 spot in the BCS rankings.
I mean, we're happy to be where we're at, but we also know that we're not thinking about that right now. What we're thinking about is running through the finish line and being #1. Like I say, when you run a 100-meter dash, being #1 at the 90-meter mark doesn't mean anything. We have to keep our form, stay true to form, and the way we practice and prepare, I think we will, and be able to run through the finish line.
Representing the Coastal Division tonight will be the Duke Blue Devils. Now, Duke is a school that's no stranger to basketball title games, but thanks to a school record 10 wins this season, they're making their very first appearance in the ACC Football Championship. Consistency has been the key for the Blue Devils in how they prepare and how they play, and the Duke players see no reason to change a working formula that's done them so well this season.
We've done the same things over and over again, treating the Virginia Tech week, the Miami week, Virginia, all those games. I mean, we've had the same mentality, so why change it now? It's been working for us.
They've done all year what we've asked them to do. I thought our preparation each day this week was special. Hopefully we can follow that up with playing at a high level.
Jameis Winston, no doubt, had a very heavy cloud over his head the past couple of weeks, finding himself right in the center of a sexual assault investigation. WTXL ABC 27's Christina Resnack joins us now with more details about the course of the investigation.
Well, Brad, that cloud was lifted Thursday when the state attorney's office announced they would not press any charges against Winston and close the investigation into an alleged incident that happened 1 year ago.
We've carefully examined all the evidence in this case and have concluded that no charges will be filed against anyone in this case.
That case placed on the state attorney's desk, questioning if FSU quarterback Jameis Winston could be connected to an alleged sexual assault. Now here's the timeline. In December of 2012, a woman tells police she was sexually assaulted. She submits to a toxicology and DNA test just hours after the incident. Then in February of 2013, Winston's defense attorney, Tim Jansen, says he was told by Tallahassee police the case was closed. But in November, the case is presented to State Attorney Willie Meggs, who decides to investigate and ultimately announces the decision not to charge Winston on December 5th.
I feel comfortable what we did, and I feel comfortable that Willie Meggs and his office have deemed that there's no charges should be filed and the case is closed for the second time in 10 months.
Jansen says the interaction between the two was consensual, and Meg says the state attorney's investigation included interviews with multiple witnesses who saw what happened that night, a lab test that found DNA from more than one man on the accuser, and a toxicology report that concluded her blood alcohol level was at .04.
We did not feel that we had sufficient evidence to go forward to bring the case to trial to prove that it was not consensual.
She is not a victim at this point. She's a complainant and she's an accuser.
Winston released a statement after the decision saying, quote, "I want to thank my family, friends, coaches, and teammates for standing by me during this difficult time. I also want to thank the state attorney's office for examining all of the facts and reaching a decision in a conclusive manner. It's been difficult to stay silent through this process, but I never lost faith in the truth and in who I am." The accuser's family also released a statement saying in part, quote, "The victim has grave concerns that her experience as it unfolded in the public eye and through social media will discourage other victims of rape from coming forward and reporting."
These are very serious cases. They're very hard cases to deal with.
It was not relief because he knew he didn't do anything, and he was like, I knew this was, it just took time for the truth to come out.
And Brad Jansen also revealed that he has spoken with Winston and his family about possible legal actions, saying that Winston's reputation is important to him. They feel some organizations may have made statements that could be damaging to that reputation. But what kind of legal action and what organizations, he wouldn't specifically say.
Yeah, I know you've been following this one since the very beginning all the way through to hopefully what is an end, and it won't continue on past this, because I think everybody now just wants to focus on football, which means tonight's big game against the Duke Blue Devils. Well, it hasn't been an easy situation for Jameis Winston over the past 3 weeks, but he's handled himself with a maturity that is beyond his years. In those last 3 games, Winston completed 67% of his passes for 276 yards per game and has thrown 9 touchdowns in that time. From his play on the field, it looked as if he didn't have a care in the world, and the distractions of off-the-field issues were non-existent.
It's been a remarkable maturity level presented by him to be able to compartmentalize and handle things he can control, not that anything was lightly or he didn't take it seriously, but he also understood he had a responsibility as a student, as a teammate, to handle himself the way he did, and it's been remarkable the way he's done it.
Well, we're just getting warmed up here on the Showdown in Charlotte. Still a lot to come. Florida State head coach Jimbo Fisher and Duke head coach David Cutcliffe will weigh in on their keys to victory. Plus, we'll check in at the stadium in Charlotte.
I'm Dave Griffiths at Bank of America Stadium for tonight's ACC Championship. When we return, I'll have a report from both Florida State and one from Duke as well. Stay tuned. You're watching the Showdown in Charlotte on WTXL ABC 27.